It's snowing and it's making everything so bright. I'm not used to this. Hi there friends, if you're new to my channel, my name is Nicole and I'm here today to talk to you about studying abroad, kind of motivations for it, why you should do it, why I think it's a good idea. Now, I'm not any kind of expert on this. I studied abroad twice during my undergraduate and I'm doing my grad work abroad right now, but I had a viewer tweet me and ask if I could do a video kind of talking about getting up the nerve to go abroad, so I thought that I'd kind of do a general, why study abroad video, and hopefully that helps. On that note, if you have anything that you'd like to see me film, do by all means leave it in the comments below or send it to me on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. But in any case, let's go ahead and get into it. I want to say two things to start off with. The first is that everything that I say in this, it should be understood that I'm kind of saying money aside why you should go abroad. I totally understand that going abroad is often a huge financial commitment that not everyone can make. This video is more if you've decided that you're financially able to go abroad, then kind of what to do from there. But I just wanted to put out there, I didn't want to come off as quite, I am quite privileged that I was able to go abroad multiple times, and I don't want to sound like I'm not cognizant of that fact. The second thing is just kind of to set where I'm coming from. I studied abroad twice during my undergraduate. The summer after my first year at university, I did a summer abroad at the University of Sussex, which is in Brighton, England, and then the spring of my second year, my sophomore year, I spent at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland, and I am currently doing my master's in London at City University, if you don't know. So I made a list of a few good reasons for studying abroad that, maybe you've not thought of. One is that it's a really great time, I think, for kind of growth and building self-sufficiency. I know I found going abroad quite empowering, returning to the States afterwards, because I felt like I'd grown a lot as a person, as cliche as that sounds, but mostly through becoming more self-sufficient, because I think often you go to university and you have so much orientation and you're kind of led by the hand a bit at first, and which is good, of course, but then you have this support network that you build there a lot of the time. And for me, I went to university not far away from where I'm from, so going abroad was kind of my first really big step outside of my comfort zone, and I think it's important to step out of your comfort zone. And so I know that I came back from St. Andrews so much more self-sufficient with a lot more confidence than I'd had beforehand in myself. Another thing that I think that going abroad can give you is actually a greater appreciation of your home, not even your home country, but your actual home, where you're from, your home university maybe. I have to say, I don't miss America that much right now. I miss ranch dressing more than anything about America. But it has given me a much greater appreciation for my family and for my friends, for being in the same time zone as my friends. And I think that that's good. I think that it's good to build that, and it helps whenever you return home to adjust back that you've found things that you appreciate about where you're from. This is a horrible cliche, but I honestly do think that going abroad is great because you learn kind of a different way of life, even if it's a country quite similar to yours. I've only studied abroad in the UK, which has a similar culture to America, but even seeing how things are done differently here kind of gave me new perspective on America, whether that's things like the political system, or I know going to St. Andrews for a semester and seeing what a college without Greek life was like really kind of made me think about Greek life back home differently. So it's in the little things like that. Even I find that the way that people grocery shop over here is kind of different, which has made me think about my habits back in the States. So I think that that's really great. It also is, and this sounds so terrible, but it's a good talking point with people, whether that's on your resume. It's a good talking point. It always gets brought up in interviews and stuff for me, the fact that I've been abroad. And I think that that's really good because it gives you something to talk about, especially if you're passionate about where you went. But even just in normal conversations, it's a way to find connections with people sometimes. In terms of picking a program or picking where to go abroad, I think that you always have to ask yourself kind of what your motivation is for going abroad. So for some people, I have friends who went to countries whose languages they studied. So I have a friend who went to France for a full year because he was a French major. And so language immersion could be one thing. If that's not your thing, I've only studied abroad in English-speaking countries, it might be because it's a culture that you really appreciate, Or one of the reasons that I went to St. Andrews was because it was a program that I really wanted to do, because they had very specialized European history courses that I couldn't get back home. I know a lot of people go abroad to do specific programs. Like I have friends who studied, a friend who studied in Copenhagen because they have really strong public health programs there. So I think that, you know, it could be about language, it could just be about the general culture, or it could be a program that you really want to go and do, or a type of class that you really want to be able to take that maybe you can't back home. One thing that I did that I think actually really helped me was I actually kind of built up my studying abroad. So I spent just a summer, so like 5 weeks, actually the first time that I went abroad, and I went with a friend. My friend Stephanie and I both went to the University of Sussex, and we had a really good time. We were taking separate classes, but we were able to do a lot of it together and do the traveling portion of it together. And then after that, I did a semester at St. Andrews. So that kind of, having already done 5 weeks, helped me then go do, I think that was like 5 months. And now I'm doing a full year, a full calendar year, so like August to August. And I think that I felt so much better going into it because I'd already been abroad before. So I will say, if maybe you're nervous about going abroad, maybe you're unsure if you're willing to commit to a semester or a year, look into summer programs, or some schools, like I know Elon, where I went for undergrad, does January term, where you can go abroad kind of on a professor-led trip for like 3 weeks in January, and that's a really nice way to kind of get abroad and get to see different cultures without committing to going off on your own. So I think that that's one really good way to kind of build up through it, or, you know, saying that you want to go abroad doesn't mean you have to do a full semester. As far as dealing with homesickness, because that's one thing that I really worried about before I went abroad, because I'm really close to my family, I kind of have 3 tips for that. The first one is to remember that it's temporary. I think that it really helps, even me right now, I think about the next time I'll be home. So like I'm going home in April, so I'll tell myself, oh, well, it's not that long before I'll see them. And to remember that you only have this opportunity for a set amount of time, so you don't want to waste it kind of wallowing in the homesickness, but let yourself feel that if that's what you're feeling, and know that it's okay to feel that. My other tip would be to keep busy, because I find that the busier I am, the less I miss home, not the less I miss home, but the less I wallow in missing home. So I find that keeping myself busy kind of keeps the negative feelings at bay. And my third tip is that there is FaceTime and Skype. I'm actually FaceTiming my sister tonight, because I think that that really helps. Like, we're very lucky to live in this age where we can go abroad and still be in contact with people from back home via iMessage and WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger and Skype and FaceTime and all of that. Because I think about people like in my parents' generation who, whenever they went abroad, they could like maybe make a phone call or two and write letters, and how different that must have been, and how much scarier that would be, because I can talk to my mom, I can text her all day long, and I FaceTime my friends, I FaceTime audio call my friends a lot too, and that helps immensely. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Basically, one thing I also wanted to say was feel free to leave me any comments about studying abroad, especially about studying abroad in the UK, in the comments down below. And if you'd like to see more study abroad content, like, let me know, because I'm totally willing to film it. I just don't know if there's any interest in it. But in any case, thank you so much for watching. If you like this, do give it a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you're not already, because I would really, really, really love to hit 300 subscribers. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again later this week. Bye! I'm so worried about what this video is gonna look like.